Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Angel Heart Radio is absolutely delighted to feature a hand-picked series of programs from How to Connect with Angels from filmmaker, producer and interviewer Sherry Lee Myers and her wonderful guests. Visit Sherry at theglitchmovie.com. And a warm welcome to all our How to Connect with Angels listeners. Welcome. We love having you here with us on Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is sponsored by AngelLight777.com.
Hi there, this is Sherry Lee Myers. Welcome to How to Connect with Angels. We believe that no matter what, every person has the unconditional love and help of angels, our messengers from God. But we have to be willing to believe, and we have to be willing to ask. That's what our film, The Glitch, that we are shooting here in New Orleans is all about, with the help of some amazing music and talent. If you're curious, visit us at theglitchmovie.com and take a look. But now, right now, let's talk to someone who's devoted to helping us make a divine connection. Bernadette Garvin describes herself as an empathic, intuitive, medical psychic, medium, and healer. She trained as a certified angel card reader, angel intuitive, and certified angel practitioner. In addition to being a Reiki Healer, Mindfulness Coach, creative art therapist, laughter coach, and crystal energy healer, Bernadette Garvin is a registered psychotherapist and a counselor. As a registered nurse, her expertise is in oncology and psycho-oncology, bereavement and loss, sudden death and suicide. Today, she combines it all by channeling angelic messages and by giving guidance and healing from an open heart of unconditional love and compassion for all. Our movie is about this woman who comes out of prison and doesn't feel that she deserves an angel's help. Mm-hmm. And the way you are approaching this work that you do, I mean, you're bringing in the psychotherapy and the power of the angels, and we have so much that we want to do with moving that message, our message, your message out into the world. I could hardly stand it, because when I heard about that you were working in this way with really, you have such an incredible message of hope to offer women all over the world who are victimized and feel victimized. And we want to bring that kind of angel therapy with psychotherapy to shelters and to Absolutely. Prisons.
I am a survivor. I get out with my life.
Yeah.
And I do self-care workshops, body, mind and spirit, the whole lot combined. Uh-huh. And I do that. My word, I suppose, would be hope and empowerment. They're my words. Because I've been there, and like a show, or like I'm doing bits of books, but my own book, which I started in 2009, is on hold. When that comes out, my journey has been, I'm a light worker, but I'm a wounded healer. So I've experienced lots of pains, abuse on every level, not just in my marriage, but in family, in different scenarios. And that's you can't get in the book, if you understand what I mean, or in a college. I just lived it, and so I have a sense of it. So I keep evolving to try and help other people. My goal isn't money, not my God. It's to reach. It's like I have loads of training done with Dori Virtue and all that, but it's to reach. It comes from my heart. I'm genuine. That's what I would describe myself: genuine and humble, and to come from my heart and reach women that are in places. Like, that's what I did when I came out of my marriage. I used to go into homes and take women out to shelters and stuff like
Bernadette. Bernadette. Let's talk about your childhood. Tell us, where did you grow up? What was your relationship with angels in your childhood?
And nature. See, I'm an only girl.
Okay.
So I grew up with male dominant family.
Yes.
Like the book that's coming out, I'm co-author for this. It's Warrior Women with Angel Wings. That's my life. That's the part of my life. The second sequela to that book will be my spiritual kind of a path. But I grew up in a male dominant family where in Ireland, the girl was kind of the second class one.
Sure.
Sent to live with my granny. So I always grew up alone because I had never sense of a connection with my family. So animals were my key. And I always knew I had a gift. But as a child, you know how you're afraid to tap into, but I always felt, even in the loneliest times, I always felt I was protected. There was somebody there. And I suppose then went on into the caring profession. Again, I knew, but I didn't tap into it. It wasn't until 2009 when I died. Got drowned, and was resuscitated and brought back. 3 days of my life, I don't know. I haven't ever shared this publicly, you know.
Oh my God, Bernadette. Oh my God. Wait, back up a little bit. Where were you? Can you describe it a little bit?
Yeah, I survived a near-death experience where actually somebody that found me, I've never found them to this day, and I believe it was my guardian angel. And when that happened to me, I went to, I'm quite emotional about this. I went to a place of white light, a most beautiful place. Oh. I can only say I didn't want to come back here. It was so gorgeous. Yeah. There was this beautiful, like a white tunnel and white beams. And all I was doing, I was just drawn to it. I was being pulled to it. Mm. And I just didn't want to come back from there. Mm-hmm. And then, after that, I woke up in an intensive care unit. Mm. And I really didn't want to be there. I wanted to go back to where I was. But I realized today my life has been a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, and maybe people that I loved let me down. But I have work to do because there's a lot more people out there like me. And that's why, I do a radio show. It wasn't to get readings and stuff like that. And I kind of taken on the show, and I do a lot of interviews now. And that's to help.
Describe the title of your show, please, and when exactly.
We do. I'm on Angelic Messages radio. They've also got Earth Angels of the World as their group. Mm-hmm. And they're a psychic call-in show live, mm-hmm. where we do live readings and that on air. And I'll tell you how I got there. About just I come with a very academic background, 4 specialities in nursing. My life has been working with death and dying on a daily basis. I've had the experience myself and survived, so death doesn't fear me. So the people I work with people who are cancer victims, who are trying to fight to live. That was my nursing job. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that when people were die or terminal, I always seemed to be there, or they wanted me to be there. Mm-hmm. And I have some amazing stories around that. And then, on the other hand, I worked as a psychotherapist and counsellor with suicide survivors and families who had lost someone to suicide. So 2 very tough areas. Mm-hmm. And then to go on to the radio show. So I was doing that, and my friend in New York said, why don't you call in and get a reading from Angelic Messages radio, which I did. And when I called up the psychic that did the reading for me, was a lady called Marion Carriere from Canada. And she said, Bernadette, it's about time you came out of the closet about your angels, because I'm just an average person, right? That's what she said to me, right? And so kind of, in some way it gave me the confidence or whatever to do, because I paint angels, and I have my first deck of cards coming out, but they're quirky, they're little caricatures, but they're my take on
I
angel.
Can't wait to see them.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see them. Oh, that's so great.
But I started painting them after she told me that on the show. Uh-huh. And people started reaching me from all over the world. I had one little angel. Yeah, people from... But look, I would have never considered myself a medium. I knew I had a connection with angels and that. But all of a sudden, people started connecting. And I mean, I'm talking people who, what follows me is trauma. Mm. A lot of people victims of trauma.
Oh God, yes.
Which on to be re-murder and different things. And I actually helped them. And from there, I have thousands of followers. I've set up the Angels of Hope group. And that has grown in the last 2 weeks, about 13 days. It's gone from 4,000 to 9,500.
Legions of people around the world. I listened to your show on Angelic Realms Radio, and I was very moved by the fact that you are offering prayers for a woman in Turkey and for someone in India, and you are, they're finding you.
Just to let you know, when I was training as a psychotherapist, the hardest thing for me was I'm an intuitive, empathic medical psychic. So I actually really feel another person. I cry people's tears, and it's very profound. But so when I was training as a psychotherapist, I was slapped on the wrist and slapped on the fingers, because you can't somebody would sit in front of me and they might come about, they had a fight with their husband, and I'd know in my heart and my gut, this woman is a victim of abuse. Or, it just would come to me. I had that really sense. So in that sense, as a psychotherapist, I have guidelines and stuff I maintain in that. But I do spiritual work and healing work with people, victims. Like, I have a meditation class I started 2 years ago, drop in, and started with 5, 10. And I didn't charge but €5, which is nothing. It just about paid my rooms. And then it went up to like 25. And it was ongoing, never closed it. I think I only missed like 2 days for 2 years, over its ongoing 2 years. And all of those women would have been women that were just everyday women that had suffered but never got a break. And in that class, we did healing. We did meditations where we connected with our guardian angels. I do a very profound cutting of the ties, but I do it through creativity, where we do a meditation. We bring in Archangel Michael for the protection, Raphael for healing, and Gabriel for messages. And they draw. And they draw what they want to release, and I interpret it for them with the angels. And then we do a healing. I use a humming bowl for clearing energy, and we use a white rose for clearing energy. So we do a lot of healing work like that. I do it in a one-to-one. I take them out then in a one-to-one in a separate room, and we go through what has come up, And same online, people who reach to me, like you said, that woman from India and Turkey, all over the world. I could have like 300 to 500 messages in my inbox every day in my messenger. People just crying out, everyday people. And I like loads of people on radio shows and that, they're going to people that are trained. I want to reach the person on the street that maybe can't read or write. Yeah. And those are the kind of people that are coming to me. And I like your movie, I think, is a huge opening for that. Everybody deserves that break or that angel just to get them through. So I bring Michael. I work with Michael, and in my rooms I've got 3 angels. Michael for the protection and the healing. And I had, I did a cutting the ties myself at one stage, and I actually was on a therapy bed with the therapist. And it was a relationship that I had gone into, and it just finished for no reason. It was just a guy panic. But I had the sense of this huge man in the room, and I thought I said, the woman, she's got her husband in here. I don't feel safe. But then I realized it wasn't. It was Michael. So I actually had this massive man in the room with me, like a silhouette, but I knew it was Michael. And I know I'm always protected, and I always bring him in, and I always bring Raphael in, coming with the healing profession. I kind of work more so with those 3 than anybody else, because people identify with them. But I bring in the other angels too, but those are my 3. They're my knights in shining armor. They're my wings, if that makes sense.
As a psychotherapist, you talk with people about relationships and what happened in the past, but I really get a sense from you that you bring in healing from a profound place. First, as a human being with incredible compassion, as a human being who survived, and then as this person who's a conduit for the angels.
And put it like this. I don't bring to anybody something I haven't experienced myself.
Yeah.
And as a healer and a light worker, there's things I can't explain, but I know it, and the people feel it. Like, I can put my hands on somebody and they feel I have a healing ability. I can't explain why. I just know I have it, and they know. So when I work as a therapist, that's verbal. Okay. And not everybody has a voice. Not everybody has a voice.
Wow, that is an incredibly profound statement.
Yeah, because...
bless you.
Yeah, not everybody has a voice. So how I work and how the angels work through me, like the angels channel through me a sense of hope. And my sense is that's what I have to give to people.
Yes.
Because I've been down there. And I find in my life journey, I help a lot of people. And you find that those people, they move on and you meet more people. That's just the way it is. But I find that I pray every day when I work with somebody. I ask the angels to come into my head, down into my heart, and come through my hands to bring healing of some sort. And they never let me down, So not everybody has a voice. Okay. So therefore, sitting with somebody as a psychotherapist, that may not be the method for you. So when I do creativity, some people heal through that. Some people heal through prayer. I'm always looking or searching, I say, outside the box to bring. So you'll see I have loads and loads and loads of training. But it's to bring it all together, to help everybody. But ultimately, I don't do, the angels guides me through it, if that makes sense.
Of course.
They just come through me.
What I love about what you're doing now is that you're combining your understanding of social services, your understanding of the process of actually getting out. I'm so moved and excited to meet you, to see how organic and intuitive, but you're a licensed psychotherapist, you're a nurse, you work with survivors, you work with I so love what you do, Bernadette. I feel so honored to meet you at this stage. And I will do everything I can to bring you to people. I love what you do. Thank you.
The way I look at it is I'm a conductor, a facilitator. The angels channel through me. And like what you're talking about, just if people don't know, is I am a survivor of abuse and domestic violence on every level. You name it, I've been there. And I suppose when I was in that abusive marriage and things were really difficult, it was Archangel Michael came into my life at that time, you know. And at that time, I'd say I had 2 children, and like this is years of I would have been married 2 years, and the abuse I suppose started shortly after I got married. I became the person who owned me, but in all that time, my faith and my angels is what got me kind of through it. And then when children came along and the abuse started, at first my oldest daughter, and then my last vision, I have to be mindful because my ex is still alive, you know, I can honestly say I feel for that man today, and I have compassion for him, not in an unconditional loving way, but I forgive them, you know, but it's still, for me, the memories live on. But my daughters, when it came to an incident when in violent attack, he flung something at me, a metal container that took the nail clear off my thumb. And because I had tried to protect my face, and I had a 4-year-old who grabbed him to try and protect me, and then a 1-year-old who tried to protect her. And that's where I came from, and that's instant I made up my mind that I had to leave. But it took a long time before I could get out after that. I had to do proper things. But I had a little statue of Archangel Michael, you know, a little thing that I always carried with me, and also a prayer of Archangel Michael. And those are like I didn't have anyone. I was in a foreign country, and I know many people. I had his family there who weren't supportive. Well, one of them, and I had to get out. So I did get out of the United States with a group called Women in Crisis. It was a very, very frightening time, a traumatic time, and it took me years and years and years to get over it. And I still, like recently, when that perpetrator, came back into this country, it brought me right back. But during that time when I came out of it, what helped me was helping other women. I did a live radio show on how my ex-addiction and that impacted on my life and the violence. And we set up with a group here called Hope House to help the perpetrator, and Women's Aid to help women that were in difficult places. I used to go into homes and bring women out, put my own life at risk. But at the time, there was nothing there for me. Doctors wanted to give you pills. You know, nobody understands unless you've walked in the footsteps. And the funny thing is today, but I have to say also, it's not just women, it's men. I was asked to be in a book here in Ireland, but I know men that have been abused just as much as I have, and it goes right across the board, men and women. But I suppose women in general, because seems to be more with women, because men don't talk about it. But men do get abused as well in any kind of relationship. So the angels work with me, and I know the journeys I've been on, like the painful experience I've been through, that happened so I can be where I am today, and bring the message to people that there is a sense of hope, that, you know, like I used to post angel cards every week after that lady on the radio show. I used to post them and start posting them on Facebook and stuff like that. But it wasn't the angel cards, it was my words, because I give a word of hope. I try and simplify the language so not the average person can read it. And like I said, they keep coming and coming and coming from across the globe. And
brilliant.
You know, so it's, I don't know if it makes sense.
Of course it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. What is your life like now? Tell me I mean, not to get into too many details, but
No.
Your daughters are grown?
But the funniest thing, I suppose, my life, for the first time in my life, I'm on my own, because there's just been me and my two daughters and I.
Yeah.
And both of them have immigrated to Australia, which was huge for me, and that's within the last 6 or 8 months. And it's like,
wow,
I can do my work now. So hence I have my angel cards coming out, which have been designed since last year. I have actually 5 sets designed. This is my angel cards, and I have one. I'm getting ready to go on fairies as well, because that's my happy side. Well, the angels are too. And I have one on nature, and I have one on the medical setting that's coming out as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there's a lot coming out. But my daughters are left. I mean, and I'm happy for them, because we're very connected, and they're very much like me. They're big hearts. But now I can do I feel I can do, now is my journey to do my work. And that's what I want to do. And like, I have angel prayers coming out as well. And that's, the angel prayers are just for the average person, little tiny prayers and guidance for anything that happens in your life. And there's like 50 in each little book, and I'll have a second one to follow up with another 50. My angel cards are hand painted by me. Like, they're quirky. And it's funny, when I paint with them in mind, that I know, like they're animated. Somebody will connect with them, and every single one, I used to post 1 or 2 on the internet. Everyone I posted, somebody has adopted them, but it's not always someone passed on, it's somebody living. And one woman contacted me from Brazil in South America, who was one little caricature I has. She sent me her granddaughter, and when you looked at them, you could see the face and everything. But if you look at my pictures, I painted them with not with paint, they're done with acrylics and that. And if you look at the eyes, and I didn't do this, the eyes are just, when you zoom in on them, I'm going to say, look at the eyes, because the eyes are just, they're just lifelike. And like, they took on that of themselves. You know what I mean?
What is your Facebook page so people can join your group and know when your cards are coming out and your books are coming out? What is your Facebook? Yeah. Okay.
My private page, I don't really use it. It's everybody's page. My personal page is Bernadette Garvin, and that's spelled Garvin.
Okay.
There's about 4,500 people on that.
Lovely.
And then I have Angels of Hope, and like I said, there's 9,500 on that.
Oh, it's brilliant. I'm so happy.
And then I have Angels Watch Over You Through Sickness, and that was for cancer patients. And like, I suppose Angel of Hope was took over more, but that was kind of to give them some of my cancer feedback. But that's got about maybe not close on 1,000 people. It's not that long up. But I also have a website which has been designed, and I will get it to you. It just has to be transferred from one domain onto the other. And on that, it's got all of my workshops, because I have, there's about 10 or 15 there's 10 different features on there. One is on my angelic side. The other one is my angelic combined with my psychotherapy, the different healings that I do.
Oh my
and the
goodness.
different workshops I do. So and it's huge. There's a lot of, there's free meditations in there. So I'll get that to you. There's a lot. And there's a blog in there as well. And there's a shop in there where they can actually look and get I also make angel jewelry. That's another thing I do. Beautiful. I mean, creativity is my niche, and the angels. And I guess they give me gifts. I'm very thankful for that. You know, it's like I said, the angels do the work. I'm just their conductor, their facilitator.
Let's talk about the message that the angels, the consistent message that the angels have for us around the world at this time.
The sense of hope, unconditional love and respect and regard for others. Like, it's the core conditions, Rogerian core conditions. Just respect, love and hope. I really feel that needs to be out there, and looking out for each other. It's not about what you have. And for me, when I meet somebody, I never judge somebody. Who am I to judge somebody else? It's what that other person, how they treat me. And I think if we all just looked at that, and we're a bit more humble in our divine presence, I feel the world would be a better place. I don't know if that answers your question, but I just feel love, respect and hope. People really need that across the globe. And they need the angels. You see, an angel, I'm leaving out my main thing. The angels, to me, bring hope. That's the difference. They bring hope. Like, I have people who didn't believe in angels. I have one particular person who was on a couple of groups and was kind of, seemed to be lost. And I asked her, was she okay? And now she's kind of follows me. But I can see her emerging, and she just saw something on the internet, and she loves, it's just people need to be aware of it, that there is something, they are protected, they are born with angels, and the angels are with them, there's a presence always with them, and that they're never alone, and how to tap into that, or how to embrace that. It doesn't have to be a big, major thing, it can be something simple as what they hear, like what you hear, what you see, the messages you read, just to teach them and educate them. That they're not just messages, that they're actually sent from the divine and from the angels around them.
Mm-hmm. And what is it that keeps people from connecting? What is it that we do?
From not connecting with their angels?
Yeah.
Well, for me, for example, coming from a profound medical background, I suppose I was slow initially to just go down the angel route. That was my plan. But life actually took me out of my job. I got hurt during a fire, and I went into the angel work then. And it's a belief within yourself, and it's all ways of thinking. You know, it's sometimes you're brought up, like I was brought up Catholic, and I wasn't supposed to look at another religion. That was a sin. So it's your upbringing and what you hear. Sure. But ultimately it's within yourself. It's just, and people get angry because what they want will say it doesn't work out. And that can be relationships, it can be health. When you see your child dying of cancer or leukemia, you know, it's like, how hard is it then to think, you know, people lose faith. But my sense is always hope. And they'll go through it and they'll work through it, but they will come out the other side. But just to get them through that. And that's what I'd like to try and help those people, to reach them in some way and help them to come to that space, if you can understand what I mean.
Absolutely. And I understand it. You are a Reiki practitioner, correct? Mm-hmm. Can you help us to understand how Reiki helped you to channel your healing touch, if that is indeed what happened?
I suppose, how did I get into Reiki? I'm a woman that survived death, maybe not once, maybe several times. I was hit by a car. My car has been totaled 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
And I walked out alive. The last time I was hit by a big Continental Scanite truck. My seat and headrest broke an impact, and I ended up in like a sardine can. And I walked out of that. So that was in a 3-month period. My car was totaled in a 3-month period.
Bernadette.
I know. It's trauma follows me. So within that 3-month period, I actually attended 3 fatal accidents where the people died in accidents similar to my own. And I was, I know, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. But I'm so glad it was you, because you brought the divine, didn't you?
Yeah. But I feel my life has been blessed, because some of the most amazing people, and those people that lost their lives, I was with them. And not that I wanted to be there. Even the police said, "Oh my God, do you know this is going to happen?" It just, I was put there by something greater than me. But in the last accident, it was a very horrendous accident. And I was traumatized after it and had nightmares. So I wanted some healing for me. And if you had told me about Reiki 2 years before that, I'd say, I don't believe. But I went and did the Reiki for myself to help heal myself. And that's how I got into Reiki. So when I worked as a nurse in my unit, I worked in an acute cancer unit, day ward. About 50% of the staff there were Reiki or Reiki masters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm, it was. And our unit was just fabulous. So I'll give an example. It absolutely was a wow. There was a lady who was having a bone marrow, an aspiration, which is a very painful procedure, and normally required sedation. But I just used Reiki and held her hand, and she got through without a problem. So I brought that into my life. And then, now when I work with angels and stuff like that, I do angel workshops, and I use Reiki healing in that, and I bring the angels through the Reiki into, again, not different people have different angels, and some people are afraid of it. You know, there is taboos around Reiki with people, but I come from unconditional love, white light, and that's the way I work. And I haven't had an issue. But Reiki is a very, very profound, ancient way of healing. And it's hands-on or hands-off, depending on the part of the body. But it's very, very powerful. And to send distance healing, across the world, and that's something I do on a regular basis with Reiki and also with my crystal. I'm training to be crystal master practitioner in crystals, and they have the sacred crystal wheel, which is for dispersing negativity. So I use my Reiki in combination with that to try to bring some healing to the world and bring peace.
Wow, Reiki healing in the cancer ward.
We have it in our, we have it here. I don't know if you have in the States, in Ireland, and in the unit I worked on, it would have been an acute oncology unit with like palliative beds. And the clients we had, the last job I was in, would have been, say we had 30 clients. 20 of them were never going to see home. You know, they were never going to get home. So death was part of my life daily.
Yeah.
Very high numbers because of the type of cancer we had. So Reiki and complementary therapies were very much part of their care. That was optional for them. Yeah.
And do people talk to you about their angels, or do you talk to them about their angels when you're sitting with them? Or do you communicate non-verbally?
Oh no, I talk about my angels all the time. And
you do?
Yeah. And it's like,
it's beautiful.
Because people say to me, "You're my angel," and I do tell them that's the best compliment they can give me, because I consider myself an earth angel. So, one profound case, a gentleman I had, and his wife is very much into angels, and I don't want to breach confidentiality, but she did the most magnificent painting for me. I have posted on Facebook of an angel in a garden, and it's beautiful. So I took a picture of it, and he was skeptical, like the man would have been terminal, okay? Very young man. And when I took a photograph of the picture, there was like a glass dome. You could see the angel was holding like a glass dome or a glass light in her hand. And when I took the picture, there was a window above her with two people looking in. When I showed it to him, he got such a shock, because the image that I had taken was actually their house, part of their house. I just took a picture of the painting. So he still didn't believe in angels, but I was with him when he passed. And I knew exactly that was a thing that happened in my work. I would always have a sense of when somebody was going to pass, or I'd always know I was going to be there, or they'd want me to be there. Before he passed away, he said, "Bernie, they're here, I believe." That was his last words to me. So he actually, and for his wife, was profound, So the angels are everywhere. This is what's needed. This is what's missing out of people's life. Even the hardest, toughest people, and believe me, people, they put things up on the page, but I always come from my heart and I always tap in. And that's what they just want to know. They're curious, but some people have barriers up, and with time they'll know. But I really feel the movie's going to bring so much to people out there, and it's so, so, so needed.
Thank you, Bernadette. It's profound to know that you have a guardian angel.
Absolutely. And more than one.
Yes. Now, do you have, in your radio show, which everyone is just so beautiful, Angelic Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Bernadette Garvin on Sundays?
On Sundays, yeah. It's 7 o'clock Irish time. So it's like 1:45 New York time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 12:45 my time. Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, but you also record the radio show. So
the radio shows are live.
Yeah.
They're archived, so you can go back and listen to any of them. And I've had some amazing guests. I don't know if you've got them recently. Some amazing guests on there. One man called Reverend Bill McDonald, who's a Vietnam vet survivor. He's an elderly man, but I mean, he had angelic experiences when he was in Vietnam, very profound. And I interviewed him, and he's actually kind of like my mentor now.
Oh.
And, Diego Bergman, who's from Argentina, and he brought out a book about my divine connection. It's all about your angel steps and stuff like that. Very, very, very profound people that have come on the show. I'm very blessed. Mm-hmm. But it's on Sundays. You can go back and listen to any of the archives, and not just my show. They have shows Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, so it's, and Sunday. So it's a really, really, really good radio show to listen into. Mm-hmm.
It's such a service. It's such a service. And I encourage everyone to access these archives. They are so They're so from the heart. And that is Warrior Women with Angel Wings coming out in July. And then we have Warrior Women with Angel Wings for the Soul.
That's a follow-up to that. So in the first book, I talk about my abusive relationship in my life and that.
Yeah.
And then in the second book will be more around my spirituality. So those two, there's, like I said, groups of women doing them. And a lot of people that I would have come in contact with, I would have referred them on to this. People who had been through a lot of trauma in their life but needed that break. People that link with me on Facebook who had really gone through a difficult time. And I kind of said, have you thought about writing? And I referred them on. And then there's a third book. It's about the legacy, what you leave behind or you're passing on. So that one I think is coming out around December.
I think it's brave because it's setting out what is your mission? What is what will you be doing from here on out? What is your hope for your life and for the earth? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. Bernadette, I am so happy we talked. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you liked this recording and benefited from it, please, for heaven's sake, share it with your friends. If you loved it and want to hear more, go to theglitchmovie.com/how to connect with angels, where you can listen and subscribe. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed by Angel Heart Radio hosts, guests, co-hosts and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.